Hello, Mike Hagan, and welcome to another edition of Mike Hagan and the Strength Team podcast. And we're just closing out our Strength Team Youth Camp. It's the last morning of camp. We're getting ready for the ceremony. So many kids have been encouraged this week, and not just been encouraged, but have given their life to Christ.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, it looked like this week has just been an amazing week in the lives of these kids, to bring them out of the city, to bring them out here and just see their life change, not just by the surroundings, but by the power of the gospel. It's been awesome.
Amen. And Warren, we did a bunch of different things, shooting bow and arrows.
Absolutely.
Tell them about the activities we did.
Oh well, we shot bow and arrows. They have an awesome course out here where they have targets set up. The instructors are very knowledgeable. They know what they're doing, and they spend time with the kids. They do object lessons, even with the bows, the arrows. Then we had 22 rifles, shot 22s, and the counselor that was over that is a professional gun handler. It was awesome, and I just sat there and watched the kids. They were just so into it. They were having such a good time, and that's so important, for them to come out and have fun, and then. They're open to hear the gospel message.
Amen. And Zeb, tell them about what was the favorite. That was the whitewater rafting. So
yeah, the whitewater rafting. Well, the kids love it. I'm from Florida though. That water's cold, man. It's crazy. But it was a blast. The kids were loving it. They were, and it's a great time. Nice, relaxing. It's beautiful out here. It's not something you get to see when you're like the three of us were from the south. You don't get to see these mountains and stuff. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, I've never seen the human foosball. That was amazing to me watching that. I had a great time. Just the kids were just laughing, playing, and it was so much fun seeing them enjoy it.
It was awesome. And so there's all the different activities we did, but every night was unique. Every night, the first night, we spoke about having a personal relationship in your heart with God. Kids to 10 to 14 years old, and basically the kids at this camp, and I want to thank all of our partners. I'm just telling you right now, partners, we could not have done this camp without you. Probably about 85% of the kids did not have funding. They come from tough homes, and some of them not, but some tough backgrounds. But you were able to fund that, and I would say like 100% of the camp were not from. They don't go to church. It's not like your church crowd, and so because of that, the response was so well every night. And when the first night, many kids gave their heart to Christ. And it was just, in fact, everybody. It was like we said, okay, everybody go over there and sign. Let's get some information, find out, what your decision was, and the whole camp left.
Right.
So, I mean, that was great. And then, the daytime, we talked about life skills and talking about the 6 P's of success: being prompt, prepared, polite, positive mental attitude, participate, and produce in life to reach your goals and dreams. So we really talked about life skills in the daytime, which is something that we really wanted to promote in a sense that, we know it's important. Number one thing is to have God in your life, but the way that they treat people, the way that they're polite, the bullying message that we communicate in the schools. None of that was going on here, but we really promoted a lifestyle of building people up, not tearing them down.
Well, the Christian faith is not just pie in the sky; it's also a practical faith. And so, these kids are having a great time. They've accepted Christ, but then each one of us got to challenge them. We talked about choices one day, and the power of the choices that we make, and how they define who we're going to become, and led right out of that into talking about character and what it means to be a young person of character and an individual, and to know your identity. And then yesterday, just to kind of culminate all that, we're talking about what it means to be a champion, and hearing your story. These kids got to hear your story of how you got to where you are. And it was just each one of these guys. They bring something to the table, but I think one of the things I like is just being able to interact with the kids.
That's the fun part. Yeah.
And have an individual time with them, and so it's a great week.
So I mean, success. I would rate this as a 10. If I could rate it higher than a 10, it would be 11. I mean, it was just off the chart, and just a great report. We're getting ready to go to Downpour, which is a big Christian concert festival. We're right in between Todd Agnew and Cutlass, and so we're the act right in between then, and we're getting ready to head on. But just wanted to encourage folks. We're getting ready for our school assemblies, getting ready for our regular crusades that are starting up in 2 weeks. Pray for the team, because we'll be in schools all over America. Our events, a lot of stuff in the state of Florida, a lot of stuff in Louisiana, a lot of stuff in the southern part of the country that we'll be heading off to. We're excited about this new time coming up, and I just want to encourage and thank again. I cannot the person that made this happen and makes this happen are the people who give monthly.
Absolutely.
Our monthly givers, please thank you for your support. But I just encourage you that the dollars that you give to this ministry are given to go to Haiti in January to do missions trips like these camps we're doing, and really that funding comes from you guys. And so just from my heart as the leader of the strength team, I thank you for your support and your faithfulness. And guys, anything else before we wrap the podcast up?
To the partners again, I just wish those partners could have seen their investment last night as we stood around this campfire.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Brother Mike had the microphone, and he said, is there any young people here? First you asked what was their favorite activity, and kids of course were talking about water slides or bow and arrow. But then you said, is there anybody here that just wants to talk about what God's done in their life this week? And they literally lined up.
Yeah.
And I mean, from kids 10 to 14 years old, we were thinking, maybe we can just get one kid to come up and say something. But man, it was like that. They just all lined up.
But to hear these young people, and I think our viewers, our partners will understand what I'm saying. They didn't know how to give a testimony. It was just raw. They just came up and said, when you hear a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old, 11-year-old come up and say, when I came here this week, I was angry.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm suffering from bipolar disorder. There was all these different testimonies, but now I feel different. I think Christ has changed me. Yeah. Just totally raw.
Yeah.
Partners.
Yeah.
They joined hands with the strength team.
Yeah, right.
They weren't here breaking a bat, and they weren't here sleeping in the cabin, but they were here, and their investment was here, making a difference in the lives of these kids.
Because if they wouldn't have been here with us, we wouldn't have been here.
No, that's right. That's right.
So anyway, well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Mike Hagan and the Strength Team podcast.
God bless.